Hello and Assalamualaikum. Before we begin the security assessment, I want to quickly introduce the operating system we are using. Our group decided to go with Ubuntu, which is one of the most popular Linux distributions, especially for cybersecurity and system administration. It's an open source, easy to use, and has strong community support, which makes it great for learning and testing. To check which version of Ubuntu we are using, I will run the command lsp_release. Amazing. As you can see here, we are running Ubuntu 24.04.2, which is a long-term support release. This means it gets regular security updates, making it a stable choice for our assessment. On this part, I will demonstrate how to conduct a basic security assessment on my Ubuntu operating system using the tool Nmap. The scanning is done before we implement any system hardening to identify existing vulnerabilities or open ports that may be exploited by attackers.
First thing first, we need to install Nmap using sudo apt update. Then I will make sure Nmap is installed on my Ubuntu system using sudo apt install Nmap. Before scanning, I need to make sure I know the IP address of my own machine so I don't accidentally scan the wrong system. I will run hostname I to find my local IP. This confirms that this is the IP address of my Ubuntu machine, and it helps me define what to scan and what not to. To identify other active devices on the same local network, I'm using this command. This performs a ping sweep and shows what other devices are connected. This would help if I were targeting another machine. For example, a vulnerable test system instead of scanning my own. Next, I run a SYN scan on localhost using the SS flag. This gives us a basic overview of which services are running and potentially exposed to the network. Now I scan for service and version detection using SV. This provides more detailed information about what specific services are running on the open ports and which versions they are using. This is important because outdated services may contain known vulnerabilities. For example, here we can see that port 22 is open and running OpenSSH. The next scan uses O for OS detection, and map tries to determine the operating system and its version by analyzing TCP or IP stack behavior. This helps attackers or administrators understand what system they are dealing with, which can influence the type of exploits or mitigations to apply. So that's our initial security assessment using Nmap on Ubuntu. We have confirmed our OS version, checked our IP address, discovered nearby devices, and scanned our own system for open ports and services. This gives us a clear view of what an attacker might see, and it's our baseline before we move into hardening steps.
Okay, we can see that have 4 port that's open, which is port 22 for SSH, 18 for TCP or HTTP with the Apache version 2.4.52, and then we have handbar on port 139 and also 445 with the Samba service. To each port, we can find the vulnerability. So for the 2020 port 2020 SSH, that's the open port, is in a risk level and could be the attack surface as brute force. So the impact, it can unauthorized remote access or it can be a credential thief. So for the port 18 HTTP, which is Apache, the version is not the latest version, so it's outdated, so it will be vulnerable to non-exploit. So the next is 1239 TCP port, Simba, with the 4445. It show uh, Simba is for the file sharing service, so it can be exposed to the network with the data linked or remote code execution. So there also null firewall detect. It will for critical risk level. There's no control over incoming and outgoing traffic. So the impact will full network exposed to the external threat. And it's also no instruction-free version. There's no automatic response to the suspicious activity, such as brute force or scan attack, that can be unblocked for the attackers.
Next, I will show you how to perform mitigation for Ubuntu. For OpenPort 22SSH, we be using this command. Okay, after this has been shown, we will change the default SSH port, which means port 22 will be changed to port 2222. And next, we will disable root login via SSH and limit login attempt. Okay, for the change, port 22 change to non-standard port like port 2222, and we will change the permit root login to no and add a make authorized to 3 limit login attempt. After done, we will save with the same config. Okay, next we will use this command to restart the SSH. And after that, we will use this command to allow this port will be added. Okay, next for OpenPort XT, we will update first. And next we will install for Apache. And next we will use this command to disable the listing. And we will type the phrase that it show, like yes, do as I say, and enter. Okay, next we will use command to restart the Apache. And if you want to add the headers, we will use this command, which is security headers. Okay, next for Samba port, we will use this command to stop Samba first, and next we will disable the Samba, and lastly we will restrict access in the Samba config. Okay, for the next vulnerabilities is no firewall detected. So first we will enable and configure UFW, which is uncomplicated firewall. First we will install the UFW, and we will use command to deny incoming and allow outgoing. And next we will allow the 222 TCP port and allow active TCP port. And lastly we will enable all the port. Okay, for the last vulnerabilities is no intrusion prevention system. So the hardening tool that we use is fail to ban. So first we will install the fail to ban, and after it have been installed, we will enable the fail to ban, and we will start the fail to ban. After then we do the mitigation or hardening, we will use the nmap to scan the IP to see the result after hardening. So what we can see, TCP open, but for the Apache has been be a new version, and Samba has been stopped. And next, we also can using the command nmap.ss.sv and .kosong and show the IP to detect open port services and the operating system version. Okay, so we can see Samba port has been closed, and that's all.